Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and I'm Aaron Clement.
I'm John Ryan.
Okay, we are here to give you information on ways to make your car, truck, SUV safer, to make it more dependable, and to make it last longer for less money and less hassle. We love to do that, and this is your opportunity to get away from all the political stuff, all the things that happen during the week that's controversial, and just enjoy something that I feel like everyone can relate to, and that is cars. We love to talk about cars. That's what we do. And you can listen to us live, and that's on Saturday mornings, 8:05 to 10 Eastern, and you can catch us on live air. That's on Facebook or iHeart. But I encourage you to go to CC Automotive or CCAutoshow.com.
I was going to say, tell them the right one.
Yeah,
first.
CCAutoshow.com, and you can do all of the above. You can watch the show live. You can also watch past shows. You can see a lot of our media. You can see past winners of the show. A lot of really neat things on Napa on CCAutoshow.com, and also there's a neat feature there.
Have some more.
Have some Coke. Okay, there's a neat feature there. If you are looking for a good, dependable auto repair facility, you can go to that same site, CCAutoshow.com, and you can go to Find a Shop. That's located about in the center. You can click on that, and you'll see a list, or you can do a search of some of the best auto repair facilities in the country. And that is at CCAutoshow.com. Okay, we are ready to fire this thing up. We got a neat theme today, John Ryan.
Yeah, what is it?
I forgot to send you the memo.
Yeah, you kind of have the
Okay, I
habit
probably
of doing
didn't send our producer Dominic Frito the memo either of what the show is about, but I promise you it is fun.
All right.
It has to do with night driving.
Okay.
And not only is it fun, but it's really, really informative. There's a lot of things change at night when you're driving. And one of the things that changes is, of course, you have a lot less visibility, and there's many things that can happen that do not happen during the daytime.
Right.
And so there's things that you can do to increase your safety by driving. And there are little tips, but these little things can make a large difference. So as we answer those automotive questions, again, that's the main reason we're here, because we love to answer those. But we'll sprinkle in some tips about night driving as we go. So, again, if you have a question about your car, truck, or SUV, just dial 706-863-5800. And that's Saturday mornings, 8:05 to 10 Eastern. Now, we also want to say something really important. Want to say thank you and to all those veterans out there.
Absolutely.
That keep us safe, all of those that have died for our country. And that just that's huge.
It is.
And happy Veterans Day to everyone. Okay, we do have a tech tip quiz along with all the fame and the glory. The winner will receive a prize package that includes a CNC Auto Show hat, coffee mug, and the famous I Answered the Tech Tip Quiz golf shirt. And here is the question. I really think that we'll all agree that doing a burnout is illegal in the street if you do it on a city street. Does that sound reasonable?
I mean, legally it's legal.
Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah. And here's the question, though. How did Doug get away with it in his 2015 Dodge SRT Hellcat? He did one on Main Street right in front of a policeman. Yeah. And why was he able to get away with it?
Okay.
Yeah, so if someone knows the answer to that,
Yeah, I
just
haven't
give us
had
a
that
call.
luck.
Yeah. And again, the number is 706-863-5800. I want to mention something about a story here that we have, and I think it's a very touching story. A Texas teenager of a fallen soldier, received a remarkable surprise for his birthday, a sweet ride that pays tribute to Du Bois' late father. His father, Army Lieutenant Jonathan Rozier, was killed on July 19, 2003 while he was serving in Iraq. His mother, suddenly finding herself a widow and a single parent, sold her husband's 1999 Toyota Celica convertible back to the dealer shortly after his loss so that she could have money to have to pay for it, so she wouldn't have
To
to
get
pay
going,
car
yeah.
payments.
Right.
And so more than a dozen years passed by before Jessica John thought about the car again, and her son Justin was nearly reaching driving age,
Okay.
which was big, and he was going to be needing a car. He had already obtained his permit. Well, John's imagined tracking down her late husband's car and delivering it to her. So she turned to Facebook. When she went to Facebook, she told all the people out there on Facebook that she would like their help on finding that car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they tracked it down, and it was John. They found John's car, Lieutenant Jonathan Rozier, and he was thinking ahead that the son, the son was always wanted that car, and he couldn't get it. And so they did find the car.
Mm-hmm.
When they located the car, the owner of the car said that he would very much love to give it to the boy.
Oh, wow.
And he felt like he would get more enjoyment out of it than anyone else. And then a group that helps veterans found out about this, so they got the car a few months before the birthday, and then they completely restored the car then gave it to him for his 16th birthday.
That's awesome.
And he got in it, and it took him a few minutes to realize it was his dad's car, but when he did, he just couldn't believe it.
Wow, that's
so
really
very
neat.
touching story. Okay, where are we going?
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go over to Tim.
Okay, Tim, welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Answer the quiz this morning.
All right, you want to try a shot at it?
Oh, you're going to answer our tech tip quiz. Hold on, and we will put you on stage.
Thank you.
Tim, you are on stage, and what is the answer to our tech tip quiz today?
The gentleman had permission from the police to do that. He called ahead and got permission and let them know what was going on.
No, he really didn't have permission at all. He just he did a burnout, and I don't mind telling you, the police really didn't like it very much, but really wasn't a whole lot the policeman could do about it.
Okay.
That adds a new twist to it, don't it?
It sure does.
All right. Well, Tim, we appreciate you trying to answer our tech tip quiz.
Yeah, give it some thought and give us a call back.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, I want to mention another great fun thing that happened this week. We had the Laurie family, Chris, Gene, the family come by to pick up a Trans Am.
Yeah.
We had did engine, transmission, a lot of other work to the vehicle, and really looked good. And it was.
You might mention a little bit about the Trans Am, though.
Well, the Trans Am came in. He had bought the vehicle. He had it a long time. I don't know if he bought it new or not.
Yeah.
But it needed some work. Redid the carburetor, gas tank, things like that, and got it in good shape, got it running. The only thing, it had a little knocking noise.
Right.
So we ended up putting an engine, transmission in the vehicle and cleaned it up really nice. It looked great, and as it turns out, they loved it.
Yeah.
They come by and picked it up. We took some pictures. We'll be putting those on the CNC Auto Show Facebook page. And the reason I mention that is sometimes a car can be one of your best memories that you can get.
Yeah.
Many times you can have a car that's been passed along, just like the story we read about the Texas teenager receiving that car in it, meaning a lot of memories.
Yeah.
The cars that you keep in the family like that, like the Trans Am and like a lot of other vehicles, you can restore those.
Yep.
And many times, well, like in the case of the Trans Am, any money that you spend is not necessarily wasted money.
Yeah, that's right.
Really, really good things to do.
Sure.
Okay, it's time to take a break, and we will return. We'll be giving more tips on night driving, and we'll be answering those automotive questions as soon as we return with more of the CNC Auto Show.
Just an old half-ton short bed Ford my uncle bought new in '64. Daddy got it right cause the engine was smoking, couple of burned valves.
Welcome back to the CNC Auto Show, and a great tip to do with night driving has to do with letting drivers see you. As it starts getting dark, go ahead and cut your headlights on, maybe just before sunset, and then keep them on for about an hour after sunrise.
Right.
And that way, and you know what I say a lot of times,
See and be seen.
and be seen. That's an important thing to remember, especially as more darkness approaches. I want to remind you, give us a call, 706-863-5800. That's 805 to 10 Eastern Time. And John Ryan, are we ready to go to some phone calls?
Yeah, we are. Let's go over to Curtis.
Hello, Curtis, and welcome to the CNC Auto Show. What can we help you with?
I was going to see if I can answer the question.
Well, let's see what we can do about getting you up on stage first. Yes, you are on stage, and we are ready for you to answer our Tech Tip quiz.
Was he in a parade?
Yeah, he was in a parade. Okay, and what else? Now you don't think he's going to do a? You don't think he's going to do a burnout in a parade? That wouldn't.
Well, I mean, it had to be something like that, though. It had to be something like that.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
So it was some kind of parade, some kind of show or something they were having, or like a Veterans Day thing or something.
But in a parade or not in a parade, if you were to do a burnout in a parade, and get this now, people were directly in front of him and directly behind him, so you know
Okay.
he's not going to do a burnout on the street right there.
That's the best guess I could come up with.
But he was in a parade, and he did do a burnout. Now, is there another way to do a burnout, even though he was in a parade?
Sure there is. A Saturday morning, it's early.
Okay.
Hey, can I phone a friend? Can I do a 50-50 or
Yeah,
something?
you can. You can phone a friend. Okay. Curtis, thank you very much. All right, the number to call, 706-863-5800. If you have a question about your car, truck, or SUV, you give us a call, and we will answer those automotive questions, and we'll do it. Now, I want to remind everyone we got a mileage contest going on. Now, really, when you think about it, it's not necessarily a mileage contest because you can actually post any car. I think the latest person posted a car on the CNC Auto Show Facebook page that had more to do. It only had 115,000 miles. It was a Mini Cooper. She had a great story. She's definitely in the running. There's a lot of them with 100,000 miles, a lot of them with 80,000 miles, just all mixtures. The main thing we're looking for is a picture of you in your car and maybe the odometer if you have time, and paste them on the CNC Auto Show Facebook page, and you will stand a chance of winning a cooler, and that's from Napa Heating and Air to be a Yeti Tundra cooler.
Heating and cooling parts.
So definitely be sure to enter that because time's running short on being able to join that.
Ready to go to the phones?
Yeah, let's go to the calls.
All right, let's go over to, you get to pick this time. Who you want to go over to?
Let's go to Alice.
All right.
Alice, welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Well, I've got two issues. First thing, as far as improving your nighttime driving, slow down and
Slow
make
down,
sure
yeah.
that you're scanning your sectors. Because Bambi is out there, and I was going underneath the speed limit, but I didn't see him until like he was in the oncoming traffic lane, and I could not stop. Which brings me to my next question is, Bambi totaled my vehicle.
Oh no! Sorry to hear that. And I hope you didn't get hurt.
No,
Okay.
but I was upset that Bambi died,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and that messed with my head for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I found out that they totaled my vehicle, and I was trying to do some research, and there's a possibility that I could keep my car, but I would have to have it, repaired at my own expense. But there's a special shop that I would have to take it to get it repaired. Do you know anything about
like
that?
a salvage title, possibly? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right, yes.
Yes. You can. We've had several customers with some experience with doing salvage title. Like you said, if the vehicle was rode off or totaled, you can buy it back from the insurance company. And, of course, it does depend on the extent of the damage.
And the year, make, and model of the car, I think, is really important also. What type vehicle do you have?
It's a 2003 Ford Escape.
Right. And like I said, it kind of depends on the damage, because on a 2003 Ford Escape, it might be a fender, a hood, a bumper, and maybe the AC condenser would total it. So, you
and
know,
the radiator, yes.
right.
All of that.
So, you know, if there's no structural damage as far as of course, that is a unibody, but as far as the frame and stuff like that, it can be done. The only issue that we've seen and customers have seen in the past is, on that vehicle, in order for you to get a title, it does have to pass a vehicle inspection, and that means every single thing has to function almost as if it was new.
Even if it wasn't wreck-related?
Even if it wasn't wreck-related. If the ABS light was on for 10 years before the accident, it now has to be repaired. And the reason why I say that's difficult is because some of those parts can be discontinued, and they may not pass the inspection. I can just give you a quick example of a customer that had a 93 Honda, very similar situation, to where they hit a deer. It was very minor cosmetic repairs, but of course the insurance did total it. And really, for under $1,500, they could fix the car back to a drivable condition. However, the ABS light was on, and it needed an ABS brake module. Well, they didn't make the module anymore, and the ones they could find even used was almost $1,500. So yes, they could fix the vehicle cosmetically for $1,500. They could put the ABS unit in it for $3,000, and then they still have a vehicle with a salvage title. So it's kind of a gamble. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, and it kind of just depends on if it's, you know, I guess money or cost effective, I guess is what.
Alice, is this the primary car, or is this a secondary car for you?
This is my primary car.
Okay.
And about maybe 3 years ago, I rebuilt the transmission. Just maybe 2 weeks ago, I put in new brakes. I've had work done on the AC this year. That was like $600 on the AC. And it's my primary car.
The only thing I can add...
And I'm the single owner. Everything on it before this was in working order, you know.
Alice, you got some great questions. Is there a chance we can get you to hold till after the break so we can answer that properly? Because this might help other people also.
Okay,
all right.
I can hold.
Hold on, and we'll be back right after this break, and we'll be talking with Alice as soon as we return and answering other automotive questions with more of the CNC Auto Show when we return. Welcome back to the CNC Auto Show. I'm going to give a real quick tip having to do with night driving, and this is an important tip to me, and I think it can help a huge number of people, and that's to clean the inside of those windows. Now, the outside, a lot of times people go through these fast car washes, which is good. There's nothing wrong with those at all. They do a good job, actually.
Right.
But they never do the inside of the window.
That's right. What
I recommend, if you like to do your own car, go ahead and just stick your little window cleaner in the back there with a good fiber rag.
Yeah, microfiber.
What is
microfiber?
It? Microfiber. I was trying to think of it. Microfiber rag back there, and clean the windows each time you go through there. And
have you
seen
the little? I know they sell them everywhere, but like it's a wand with a little square pad that you put the rag on there, and then you do.
Oh, okay, that's kind of neat.
That thing makes a world of difference. Yep.
But you'll notice a difference when you're driving at night. How much easier it is to see stuff. John Ryan, we were talking to Alice, and I'm gonna give a real quick background for those that might be just tuning in. And that's that she has an Escape. The Escape, she hit a deer. She named it Bambi.
The deer didn't have insurance.
And it totaled out her Ford Escape. Luckily, she didn't get hurt. And they are making an offer that she can get the car back, but she would have to fix it on her own.
With a salvage title.
And she would have a salvage title. Alice, my question is, how much were they going to give you for the Ford Escape?
They were going to give me $3,400 for it if they kept it.
Okay.
And if they gave it back to me, if I bought it, it would be $3,100. The estimate for repair, where they had stopped, they didn't pull everything apart. The shop said they just pulled the bumper, what they could see.
Right.
For all the things you had listed, the radiator, condenser line, bumper, headlight, hood, and that was like at $2,000.
Okay. Alice, there's no question in my mind that you're going to be ahead to go ahead and take the money and put that toward another vehicle. What you're going to go through so much hassle with this being your primary car, you're going to go without something to drive for a long period of time, and a bird in hand is
yeah. I don't even remember. Yep.
So go ahead and take the money and go get you another vehicle. And there are some great vehicles out there, even for the 3,000 mile range. And I realize you've done a lot of work to it at Escape. You've done a transmission. And
well, that was going to be the thing. And you actually have some experience with this, because sometimes you can negotiate the payout price due to the maintenance and the history and repairs. So that might be something at least having a conversation, or be worthwhile having a conversation with your agent to say, look, I put X amount of dollars in it in the last 6 months, whatever. I remember you had a scenario
you may be
where
able
that
to get some
worked
more
out good.
money, and that's a big benefit, especially if you do your work at one particular shop and they have all the records on your car.
Yeah,
and they could give you real good professional looking records. But even if you don't have a printout, you can still go show all of your receipts and say, listen, I just put a transmission in this vehicle. I did the brakes. It's really worth more than the $3,000. And sometimes they'll negotiate with you a little bit and give you more than that.
Right.
But in any case, I would do the negotiations, but I would also go ahead and take the money, because you're going to go without a car for a long period of time, trying to get this one repaired in a way to where you can drive it.
Even the inspections, if I'm not mistaken, they only do them on certain days because it's just not that
And
common.
there's a lot of unknown stuff there that you may run into. So take the money and go ahead and get another car. And, of course, like always, I recommend having a pre-purchase inspection done when you get one. And I believe there's no doubt in my mind you're going to do a great job on picking out a nice one.
Oh, okie dokie. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Alice, great question.
Yeah,
thank you for the call.
And happy holidays.
And you
too.
also. The number to call, 706-863-5800. If you have a question about your car, truck, or SUV, give us a call, 805-10, Saturday mornings from anywhere. And where we're going.
All right, we got some time left, so let's go to Ron.
Hello, Ron. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Good morning, fellas. Just a couple of comments. I noticed y'all advertise for Napa, and I buy a lot of my parts from Napa. But, they have a lot of sales that go on, and y'all don't ever seem to put out any sales facts. Like right now they're having a big battery sale going on. And is it something that they don't do, or?
Well, I guess it does play in other markets, so that's one of the main reasons.
We are working on a lot of that, though, Ron. We have been talking to them about doing some things in that area, and we use Napa batteries ourselves. We love Napa batteries. We buy a lot of parts from Napa. Have a great relationship. Now that you mentioned that, Rhonda, I'm gonna mention something that I started to mention a little earlier, and this is kind of neat. What night was it? Night before last?
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday night. We went to a tool and equipment show from Napa, and this is really neat because this is like Christmas for technicians. We love to see new tools, and we love to see a lot of stuff. So we walked in, and Napa had all of these tools lined up in this big room, tire changers, just all kind of fun stuff.
Everything.
Newest
Hand tools,
technology out there
everything,
in car repair. And get this now, Ron, John Ryan won a chainsaw.
Yeah, I don't know how, but that was awesome. A steel
chainsaw, a very nice one.
Yep.
And that was awesome.
$500.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And Napa's been good to our industry, in my opinion. They have good image and good parts.
I don't know what I'd do without Napa. I mean, the quality of their parts, their brakes, their electronics, it's all top notch. And that's why I say, it'd be great to know if you got maintenance items that is coming up and there's a sale going on, just like with these batteries. I mean, you need to replace it. So when you hear of a sale going on, you want to jump on it.
Right.
Well, Ron, I tell you what, you saying that's going to go a long way toward us contacting them, and we will work toward doing that.
Yeah, it'd benefit all of us out here. And just a tip.
Mm-hmm.
When you're driving at night, I'm 66. When you start seeing halos around oncoming traffic's headlights, it's time to go see your eye doctor.
Oh, great comment.
Because that's a great indication right there of not glaucoma, but cataracts. And you could jump on it early, and your vision is so much better without that cloudy existence in front of you.
Ron,
and especially
would you say in that this was 2 days ago, and this is absolutely true. I was standing right here talking to her. Great customer, Buick. She has a Buick LeSabre, I believe it is.
Okay.
But anyway, 96 years old, still driving, and her eye doctor said that if for some reason they give her any problems on the eye exam when she goes back to get her license, he will write her a letter so she don't even have to take the test. And she's sharp as she can be driving. So in my opinion, nobody should let age determine when they stop driving. Now there's reasons why.
Oh, absolutely not.
But there's reasons why it can, a 50-year-old can have it. But
right.
I see that lady at 96 was driving great, and
That's right.
she does a beautiful job as far as driving, and my guess is she'll drive for a long, long time. So, yes, do things like that so you can continue to drive and continue to see well, and that is a great suggestion. Matter of fact, see that eye doctor about once a year when you get a little older, and not only can it help you drive at night, but it can prevent other issues with your eyes.
And too, Aaron, as far as these deer collisions, if people make the mistake when they're driving at night in these rural areas, and I live out in the rural area, don't tunnel vision down the road. Keep looking from side to side, and
it's more
you'll
important
see
what's
them.
on the side.
Yeah.
That's right, and you'll see those. They're out there grazing on that grass on the side.
You'll
of the
normally see
road.
their eyes first. Just look for eyes because when those headlights hit their eyes, you'll see them.
But a lot of times they're down grazing and you don't see their eyes, and when you get close to them, they get spooked and they'll run. Or if there's a buck chasing a doe, he's going straight over the road right in front of you. So it's always good just to glance from side to side as you're driving down the road, and to keep your headlights clean. Because I tell you, I just had mine redone because there was so much haze on them. And it made a world of difference about the brightness in my headlights.
You're giving some great tips on that, Ron.
Yeah, Ron,
for a lot of people.
I think if you could just get started on putting reflective collars on all the deer, we'd appreciate that.
Guys, I sure enjoy this show, and y'all have a great, safe weekend.
Ron, too, thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's time for a break. Just before we head to the break, we got just a second or two. I'll mention that you have to remember that if you see a deer, there is the possibility that as you swerve, that deer may swerve
with you
in the same direction as those headlights. So watch out for that. Time for a break. We'll be right back just after these messages.
Mustang Sally.
Welcome back to the CNC Auto Show, and here is another great nighttime driving tip, and that's to take a break every now and then if you're driving a long distance. A lot of times you can get very sleepy, start dozing off, start kind of swerving just a little bit, and go ahead and pull over and rest if you get like that, and have a cup of coffee
or
and
a Monster.
Rest up. Don't take a chance on dozing off while you're driving. Not good. Especially if you're in a hands-free car and driving, and the next thing you know, you'd have been
in the wrong state.
Yeah, you go 2 or 3 miles and hadn't touched the wheel and been asleep. So just take a break, and even before you start the trip, go ahead and take a little bit of a break before you take off.
Yeah,
John Ryan, we ready to go to the calls?
Yep, let's go over to Ron.
Perfect. Hello, Ron. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with today?
Hi, guys. I just wanted to extend what the previous Ron was talking about.
There's more than one Ron?
In the automotive industry, I read in my car magazines and talk to mechanics and stuff, and they appear to be having a problem getting young people to get in this business, to be mechanics. I'm involved with car clubs, and I like custom cars and really enjoy Velocity Channel, watching them build cars.
Yeah.
And I think people like Napa and all of the car parts manufacturers should get together and promote these tech schools on bringing people up in this business. They're going to have a show that's been advertised on WGAC for a couple of weeks now, next Saturday at Cross Creek High School, and they're trying to raise money to keep their shop class going. That's how serious it's getting.
Right.
Ron, you're absolutely right. And I know that very, very well because I am on the advisory board of 2 different schools.
Right.
And those advisory boards, they tell us of the struggles at the school that they go through as far as funding.
Yeah, the budget cuts
for
and
these
everything.
kids. And here's one of the things that we go through. Kids that go to an automotive tech school, it is a great, great industry. I'll say that first. As far as kids getting into, you can make very, very good money, have a very, very good career, a very rewarding career.
Well, the thing I like about it is consistent too.
Yeah.
Everybody has cars.
Yeah, everybody has cars. Everybody will have cars. It's very interesting because you're working with a lot of electronics. You're looking with mechanical stuff. You're working with fluids. Just so many things that make it interesting. But one of the things that you run into, these kids, they have to be able to learn all of this new technology. We're working with radar, sonar, LiDAR, all of these things on electronics.
Right.
But also along with that, it's not uncommon for a technician to have anywhere $50,000 to $100,000 or more in tools,
right,
just to be able to function. And that is an issue a lot of times when people's getting into it. So it does take a lot of support. I think people in automotive shops are going to need to help support those.
Well, that's what I think, like what Ron's saying. I think even like Snap-on, for instance, they have a technician program for a discounted rate of tools. I think more and more companies need to help out with that also.
And shops
to
are
make
going
it
to
easier.
help our schools more and more as far as doing things. We recently did some things to help one of the automotive schools ourselves, but more shops, a lot of shops are going to need to get involved in things like that and help it. And you are right. There will be a time to where, and it's already happening now, but people are going to have a hard time to find a good qualified person to work on their car,
right?
Because good technicians are hard to find.
You can really tell that by watching Velocity Channel, the automotive shows on there, and these people that build cars from the ground up, I mean, hand form what was rusted metal to replace the rust with. I mean, they just amaze me.
Right.
It's unreal what they can do.
Yeah,
and that's what we need to get people involved in now. But I have one other thing. Our CSRA Road Angels Car Club today, we're having a toy collection at Toys R Us on Wrightsville Road from 10 to 3, and we're also having one next weekend at Hooters on Washington Road. And we collect toys for the Children's Hospital downtown. Last year we had about 2 truckloads. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, great.
But we're having 2 of them this year.
To a lot of other areas, all these car shows and people that love cars, there's a lot of things that you can do during car shows that can help a lot of organizations and a lot of things, especially this time of year where it help. And that is a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah, thanks, Ron.
Okay.
Good. Okay, I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for the call, Ron. Number to call, 706-863-5800. And, John Ryan, who will we be talking to now?
Well, we got a few minutes left before the end of the show. Let's go over to Chris.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to
Yes.
the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask. I'm trying to buy a RX 350 Lexus for my wife, and I saw where it uses premium gas.
Mm-hmm.
My brother's got a Lexus, same model and all. And the car requires premium gas, and he uses regular gas and puts a additive to it.
Mm-hmm.
Will that do any damage to the car?
It's more of a recommendation, Chris. It does say, premium fuel required because of the compression ratio, the EGR system, and a lot of the drivability features are kind of, based around the 93 octane. My mom actually has the exact same car, and my advice to her was put 87 in it. If you have some drivability issues or you hear a little spark knock, put the premium back in it. Mainly because we just haven't seen quite the benefits. Now, if it was a Lamborghini or something like that required, high octane, that's because the compression ratio is totally different than a, passenger vehicle Lexus or something like that. So that would be my opinion. I know there's other benefits to it, obviously, but what's yours, Aaron?
Well, I say also check your gas mileage because you may find if you run to 87 octane that if there is spark knock, you probably won't hear it because the vehicle will hear it through a knock sensor, and it'll lower the timing, and there's a chance that you might find your gas mileage is lower with 87 octane, and that would make it to where you're still paying the same thing.
And my guess would be it's like 0.3 different.
Well, I don't know. It could be more. We'll let you determine
that.
Yeah,
you let us
Chris.
know, Chris.
You go out and find out. Run it with a tank of premium, then run it with a tank of regular, and then give us a call back and let us know.
But the answer to your question is no, it will not damage it.
Okay. And how about the additive?
Again, same thing. Now, I'm assuming you're talking about an octane booster rather than an additive like the cleaner.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean, we've seen some tests done with octane boosters.
I'd say that
of course,
would be fine.
that would be fine too. Again, I think it would just be best to do the test, see what 87 just regular fuel would do, see the fuel economy, the cost of it, and then maybe even do 93.
And then you're going to tell us which one is right, Chris, because I'm recommending. I'm thinking that the lower octane is going to lower your gas mileage to the point to make it to where the premium's just as good.
I think it'd be a decimal point.
Well, we'll find out. Let us know, Chris.
Chris, go uphill a lot more in 93 for me. All right, we appreciate the call.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we are just about to run out of time, and the time clock's on E, and we'll pull over for now, but we'll be back on the road in no time. I'm Aaron Clements with co-host John Ryan Mooney, and our show producers are Dominic Frito and Sandy Klein, and our technical engineer is Zach Llewellyn, and we would each and every one of us like to say thank you very much to all of you that tuned in, those that logged in, and a special thank you goes out to those that called in to ride with us on the CNC Auto Show. I want to say thank you to all of you that tuned in and logged in, and we're here to take your phone calls. And that number, 706-863-5800. That's Saturday mornings, 8:05 to 10 Eastern Time. And you could also catch us live on air, iHeartRadio, Facebook, or at ccautoshow.com. And also, if you are looking for a good, dependable automotive repair facility, you can also go to ccautoshow.com, and you can just scroll down. It'll be a spot there that'll say Find a Shop, and that link will take you to a place you can search for some of the best auto repair facilities in the country. John Ryan, we ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I'm going to mention the theme,
All
and
right.
the theme has to do with night driving. Have a great time. We've shared great tips having to do with night driving. Got a lot more tips to share, and a lot of very good calls, and we are ready to go to more calls.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
All right, let's go over to Richard.
Hello, Richard. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with today?
Yes, sir. Good morning. I have a 2013 Ford Explorer, and having problems with the intermittent wipers on them. They won't cut off.
Well, it's still raining.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that'll put you in a
just
bad
wondered-
mood after a while, Richard. You know, sitting there and riding down the road and your wipers just every now and then, boom. It's kind of like the dripping water on your treatment, you know, just over a period of time, it just wears you down.
Has that happened to you?
Well, I just wonder if there's a moisture sensor in the windshield, counting the dew that's outside to keep it going or
that's
something.
actually what I was going to ask you, Richard. Does this have auto wipers on it?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of. Yeah, normally they have an auto feature that, of course, uses the rain sensor on the windshield, and then, of course, it would detect that,
Not that many cars did that, though, did I know of, did they?
I would say more and more now do.
I see some.
Maybe not
Okay,
13,
it might.
but...
I bought this car about 2 years ago.
Right.
And it started out slowly, but it's getting more pronounced now.
Okay.
And also, there's like 3 or 4 clicks before you get to the full wiper motion on it.
Yeah, the intermediate.
But I can go to like the second or third click, and it pulls the wipers on fully.
Right.
And then I can click it one more time, and it'll go back to the longer intermittent.
Right. Richard, that's not necessarily a problem we've heard a lot of on those. Some of the newer Tauruses around that year range had some wiper problems. It does have a similar system, the system that we kind of like using, mainly because that wiper switch is really just an input. All it's doing is telling the car's basically the body control module that the driver wants wipers. So it sends a request to the module.
Right.
The reason why we like that is being that it's computer controlled, that a lot of times if there's a fault or an issue with it, there will be a trouble code stored for that actual system. It may have a code that says multifunction circuit switch high, something like that, to where it's not receiving proper input from that switch. So that would be my advice on that. There's a lot of testing you could do outside of that, like you said, to see if it has auto, wipers. But really a technician would probably immediately put a scan tool in there. Now, it does have to be a proper scan tool. It has to be able to access the body control module of the computer, not your typical like over-the-counter type scan tool. And again, see if there's a code in there. And the really neat thing about it is you can control all the functions. For instance, you can go into scan tool, you can go to the PID, the data PID that selects the motor to be off, and physically turn it off. And obviously, if it turns off, that tells you the motor.
It's kind of neat to be able to control all the things on the car through a laptop.
It's called bidirectional control. You being
I was thinking about just pulling the fuse on the thing until it rains again.
Well, I mean that's a possibility too. You can put a toggle switch on the fuse if you wanted to. But that would be my advice, because that's not there's a lot of problems that we hear day to day, but that's not one that's really common.
Yeah. Is that module expensive, or
well, the good thing is
needs to be replaced?
I don't want to jinx it. The module can be very expensive, honestly, but it's normally an input problem. Normally, it's more like the switch, or even possibly the what do you call it? The spiral cable, the wiring going down to it. Normally, it's the body control module kind of does the job as far as switching varying the voltage to the motor, but the input side of it's normally what goes bad on those.
And the technician with that piece of equipment hooked up will be able to turn the switch, and if the computer,
the data PID should change.
If the computer sees that it's requested, then he or she knows that it's sending the signal there. But if they turn that switch and it didn't request it at the computer, then they know it has to do with the switch or the wiring going down to it. So using that equipment to do it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, but sometimes I can turn the switch on the column and turn it on a couple times and turn it back, and sometimes it'll go ahead and cut it off. But then I can be driving a couple hours later on and just acceleration, and all of a sudden it'll start back up again.
Yeah. It sounds just speculating, but it sounds like possibly the contacts in the switch itself, maybe even the last contact that it makes, that would probably be to break the contact to shut it off. I'm reminded of your flashlight test. Aaron would take a flashlight and tap all the way down there and see if it
Don't
stopped.
tell him my trick.
I'll tell you what,
no, they call it the WAP test.
Back and forth continuously trying to get that thing to cut off.
You could do the extensive one and just break the whole lever off.
Yeah, some people call it you can run either the tap test or the WAP test.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
One's lighter, one's heavier.
I'll tell you what, it sure is frustrating, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that would wear you down just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate the information. I always enjoy your show.
Yeah, I wish it was something simple, Richard. Say like a relay or something like that sticking on. But unfortunately, being computer controlled, it's probably going to be an input side.
Well, I know it has the place on the thing where you can turn the extended intermittent, through the controls.
So you just slow it down to as slow as possible.
That's turned. Yeah, that's turned off there. I mean, so okay. Well, I appreciate that's something y'all can do also.
Oh, of course, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, super then. Okay, well, thank you for the information, sir.
All right. Have a great day.
Number to call, 706-863-5800. That's 8:05 to 10 Eastern Time, Saturday mornings. Okay, we have a quick tech tip quiz that we will go to. And, of course, the winner will receive the prize package, which includes a CNC Auto Show hat, coffee mug, and the famous I Answered, the CNC Auto Show Tech Tip Quiz golf shirt, which is huge when you get one of those. Okay, here is the question. A little bit long. John drives a truck and likes to work on his own vehicle. He had a check engine light coming on. He had the codes checked at a place for free. They told him that there was a EGR code stored, which is exhaust gas recirculation. That's it's an emission part. They cleared the code. It came back on. The sensor, it came back on with he checked the wiring. He replaced the sensor. He replaced the valve. He replaced the computer, and he spent over $800, but the light was still coming on. Finally, he had it diagnosed at a professional shop. What was wrong with the car? So if you know the answer to the Tech Tip quiz, you give us a call. In other words, he replaced every single component.
He replaced, sounds like, the EGR system.
He did. He replaced the whole.
And the light was still on.
And the light was still on.
Okay.
And just a hint side to this is the same problem occurs
with every system,
with a lot of other systems. It can be a
lean
check
code.
Engine light. It can be it can be something to do with even lighting. It can have to do
ABS,
with cruise control, the drivability of the car. You run into stuff like this from time to time as a technician. So give plenty of hints on that one. So if you have an answer to our Tech Tip quiz, don't hesitate to give us a call. And it's time to take a real quick break. And when we return, we'll be giving more tips about driving at night. And I got some great tips on that. And then also we'll be answering those automotive questions. Number to call, 706-863-5800, 8:05 to 10 Eastern Time. We'll be back just after these messages.
Sitting in the back of a long white Cadillac.
And welcome back to the CNC Auto Show. And one of the things that a good night driving tip, and actually this is a good tip anytime, but try to avoid speeding up to like 50. And say if the speed limit is 50, and speeding up to 50 and then slowing down to 40.
Speed limit's 45.
Well, the speed limit's 45. Try not to speed up to 50 and then slow back down to 35. The people behind you eventually tell you that you're number one.
Yeah.
And
you're the middle of number one.
It just causes problems. Try to stick with that one speed and stay kind of steady.
Consistent.
Especially at night. And the people behind you will appreciate that very much, because then they'll be able to stay at a steady speed, and you'll decrease your chances of being hit in the rear also a huge amount.
Yeah.
Doing that at night is especially important. Okay, are we ready to go to the calls?
Yep, let's go over to Rich.
Hello, Rich, and welcome to the CNC Auto Show. What can we help you with?
Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Very nicely.
Thanks for your service. I know you're a vet too, ain't you?
I am. Yes, I was in the Air Force.
I know you were. Yeah. Yeah, we served 5 generations, all Army.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Rich, it says you might answer the tech tip.
Let me take a shot.
All right. We are ready. We're going to put you on stage.
All right. Put me on.
Rich, you are on stage. What is the answer to our tech tip quiz today?
Could it be a defective gas cap or a loose gasket on the gas cap?
No, not loose gas cap.
That's not it?
Yeah, actually, the EGR system wouldn't have, the gas cap wouldn't have called it EGR code. But again, I want to mention that this could have to do with anything. This same car could have had a problem.
We'll say with a wheel speed sensor.
Yeah, wheel speed sensor, even a radio acting up, or it could be the wipers acting up. There's just a whole list of different things that
It's like a
this
generic
same
lesson.
tech tip quiz would pertain to, and this could save people money in the long run, knowing the answer to this tech tip quiz. So, Rich, we appreciate it. Did you already button him?
Yeah, he enjoyed it. He said,
Rich, was you okay? All right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think he's gonna pull through it.
He will.
I went in the shop, but I came back.
We appreciate it, Rich.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich. We
you
appreciate
have a great
the call.
weekend.
You too.
Okay, some things, some more nighttime driving tips. We're going to run through some as we go. We know where your dashboard lights are. A lot of times people ride around with their dash lights on high, and it can be uncomfortable, and many people don't even know how to dim their lights.
That's true.
There's a knob there somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes it's a dial, sometimes it's a knob.
And
Sometimes
the
it's actually done through the DIC or the driver instrument cluster. Or
but
panel.
know how to dim the lights on your car, because sometimes you might find in certain conditions it's a lot more comfortable to cut your dash lights down a little bit as you drive. And so know that part.
All right.
Ready to go to the calls?
Yep, let's go over to Matt.
Hey, Matt, welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Hey, good morning. I'd like to try to answer the quiz.
We are ready for you. We're going to put you on stage. Okay, Matt, all eyes are on you. I see a little sweat on your forehead. You might want to wipe that off, and then give us the answer to the tech tip quiz.
All right. Here's what I think. I think what he did is a poor fella. He replaced all those parts and really tried to fix this problem. And what he forgot to do was he forgot to reset the check engine light.
No, he did. Each time that he put a part on there,
they cleared it.
Yeah, he would reset the check engine light. He would clear the codes, and he would actually drive it. The light would be off for a short period of time. He'd drive it, light would come right back on. And he replaced pretty much everything to do with that system. Everything.
Anything that said EGR.
Yeah, he spent over $800.
All righty. Well, I figured I'd give it a shot.
Well, good shot. We appreciate it very much. But unfortunately, Matt, you got the A button. Thanks you,
for calling, Matt.
We appreciate your call. Okay, and it's easy to get the A button. You just all you have to do is call in with the wrong answer.
That's right.
Okay, the number
We'll
to
set
call
you right up.
706-863-5800, and that's Saturday mornings 8:05 to 10. And we've talked a little bit about different things that can pull out in front of you at night.
Right.
We mentioned that
Like
as
a
far
tree.
as deer, being very careful, scan the sides of the road. A lot of times you might see only a deer's eyes, but look for those. But also a huge thing, look for those pedestrians or bicycles.
Yeah.
So in other words, like another caller mentioned, slow down, be alert, and scan the road. Where are we going?
All right, over to Calvin.
Hello, Calvin. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Well, good morning. I was just trying to try that tech.
Oh, hold on. We're going to put you on stage. Calvin, you are up there, and we are ready for you. What is the answer?
Well, I believe with all the work he's done, he didn't sync it with his computer that's in the vehicle.
Now, what you mean by
After he got all
sync
the
it?
stuff done with
What do you mean by sync it, Calvin? I don't quite understand now.
you're putting all this new equipment onto the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicle has the brain there,
right?
And it was set up for what was already in the machine. Now he's putting foreign bodies in the machine and has it synced to say, "Hey, I'm part of the body now. I'm not the old stuff. I'm the new stuff."
Now, Calvin, I'm going to go ahead and mention to you, you're right in a lot of ways, because it is true that on many parts now, you can put that part on that person's car
and be a totally different design.
and it will not function until it is programmed for the car. But in this case, none of those parts were needed. None. No, not even one of them. And so what would be the answer then?
The guy wasted a bunch of money.
Now you would, if we could give a second prize, you would win with that, because that part is absolutely true. But what did he end up doing to repair the vehicle? And that what was actually wrong with the vehicle.
I mean, he's getting there.
Yeah, you're
kind of
warm, Calvin. That's the reason we're trying to walk you through this. If you'll work with us just a little bit.
I'm at a loss.
If he didn't need any parts, and that I know of, the EGR valve wouldn't have needed to be reprogrammed for that car.
Not
the
that
computer
particular
would
one.
have, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, Calvin, we got to do it.
Thank you, Calvin.
I'm sorry, man. I'm at a loss. Thanks, sorry.
All right, we're going to take a real quick break. When we return, we'll be going to Fred and Lewis and answering more questions. We'll be back with more of the CNC Auto Show.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends.
CNC Auto Show. Let's go straight to the phones.
Straight to the phones, no tips?
No tips at all. Where we going?
Let's go over to Lewis.
Hey, Lewis, welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
Thank you, Aaron, JR. I have an 04 Lexus ES330, and I get a check engine light comes on when the weather's either raining, as it was, I think it was Thursday, and this past Monday. But when it clears up, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and yesterday, and today, the check engine light's gone. And when I had it checked by my mechanic, he came up with something to do with the thermostat. Was one of there was like 3 codes. One to do with the thermostat, one to do with the camshaft positioner, I believe it was.
Okay.
And the third one I don't remember.
Okay.
But the fact it's happening when it's moist outside suggests to me it's like electrical connection. But I want to know what you guys hadn't talked about that.
John Ryan, you want to let our guest answer that one first? Our guest?
Sure. Let's see if he's is he still here?
Yeah, let's see what he says about that.
I'll tell you what you do. You just take them dang old spark plugs out, and in that little hole, you just put a little oil around there, just like Bobby intercepts. It's like it'd go boom, boom, just like that.
Lewis, we had to lighten that up just a hair.
Okay.
That's Aaron's buddy there. Lewis, no, I think you're kind of onto something there with the moisture and it being a little bit, most likely, cooler too, correct?
Well, Tuesday wasn't, Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was foggy, it wasn't necessarily cool. But,
Okay.
I mean, it was probably 60 or so, but whatever.
Gotcha. Well, I can tell you how I feel like both of those would be affected by the difference in temperature. One being the thermostat. Let's just say it's 90 degrees outside. Even if that thermostat wasn't regulating the temperature properly, the vehicle's just going to run hotter regardless. It'll still run in the normal operating temperature part, but the problem is that car's computer monitors how fast the vehicle gets to temperature. So if the thermostat is stuck open, it takes a lot longer for it to get warm inside the car, the engine coolant, and the whole 9 yards. So if it's a little bit cooler outside, damp, rainy, it's going to take even longer. So that's one scenario. So the thermostat,
and that's what the computer is looking for.
Yeah, the computer can
time.
actually detect that. It should be somewhere in the 3 to 5 minute range. Every manufacturer has a different time window. But if it doesn't see 150, 160 degrees within that window, it'll flag that code, which is normally a P0128, which just basically says that it's not regulating the temperature as quickly as it would like it to. The other one with the position sensor, I'm assuming you've taken very good care of this vehicle, like oil change maintenance and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
The only reason I ask is because if it's setting a camshaft position code, that means that the sensor is seeing a timing confliction of where it would like it to be and where it actually is.
Sticking one way or the other.
Right, sticking one way or the other. And there's 2 things that cause that. One being oil sludge, which would kind of be on a vehicle that normally, hasn't had much or very good maintenance. The other one would be there's a solenoid there. And a solenoid can act up when it's cooler versus when it's hot. So again, and the solenoid opens and closes a oil passage to allow the oil pressure to go to a cam gear to advance or retard the timing. So if that solenoid, say if it's weak or it has a little bit of more mechanical wear to it, the temperature can cause it to fail. So I think, of course, obviously, if there's 2 codes in there, there are 2 systems that aren't functioning properly, but both those systems can be affected by the temperature, ambient, and the actual, engine temperature itself.
Lewis, is there a chance that the car might be coming up due for an oil change?
No, sir. I just changed it a week or two ago myself.
Okay. Yeah, I would recommend going ahead and having the diagnostics run then, because the technician will be able to determine if that variable cam timing is not working like it should.
Right.
But the good news is you don't have to take the whole engine apart to change that.
Yeah,
it's
luckily.
it's more it's not real easy to get to.
Right.
But it can be changed, and we the ones that we've replaced, we've had some that the customer's gone another 50,000 miles and still going.
Yeah, and
so-
some of them, even the really, really horribly maintained ones, still have a pretty good outcome. So
yeah, you can still do it. So it just so more than likely you're going to need a solenoid.
the only tip I would have, Lewis, on that is if you could, when you do plan to take it into a shop, kind of try and plan it with the weather too. That way you try and get it there when it's a little bit cooler and, like you said, moist, damp day.
Right. The solenoid you're talking about, where's this solenoid? What's it
Well, there's
called?
actually two of them, one for each bank. And on that particular engine, it's kind of hard to describe because it's in the V or in the valley of the engine. It's a round solenoid with a 2-wire connector, and it has one 10-millimeter bolt holding it in
And
there.
it's near the front of the engine.
Right.
Near the timing belt area.
Okay. Is it, what do you call it, a camshaft solenoid? Or what?
That's correct. Yeah, depends on what parts house you're looking at. It could be a camshaft actuator, it could be a camshaft solenoid,
variable cam time.
Yeah, 100 different names for it, but they would know what you're looking for,
or at least 84.
Not 100, but 84.
That's right.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate your help on that.
All right.
Thank you, Lewis.
Let us know how it turns out. Also,
he didn't say thank you to our
appreciate it.
guest yet.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Lewis.
All
right. Take care.
Bye. Okay, the number to call 706-863-5800, 805 to 10 Eastern Time. That's Saturday mornings, and
we got about 4 minutes left. Let's pick up Fred.
Let's do it. Hello, Fred. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help with?
Fred, if you could turn your radio down for us.
Well, I'm not near the radio. I'm right.
That must be Aaron's metal plate in his head.
No, we got Fred. Fred's got a weird voice. What can we help with, Fred?
I want to take a stab at your EGR issue.
All right, we're going to put you on stage. And you are on the stage. Do you need the question ran again, or you got it?
Well, I know what the question is, but I did have a question for you about the issue.
Okay, right. I'm ready.
Is this EGR valve a vacuum-operated EGR valve?
No, that is a good question. It's a linear switch. It's electronic, full electronics valve.
Yeah, electronic EGR valve.
Then my stab at it would be that you may possibly have an electrical issue going to it, or possibly the EGR tube passage may be clogged and restricted.
Now, he checked all the wiring.
Would we mess you up if all the mechanical...
Yeah, everything to do with
mechanical
the system
work
was working good. And you did bring up a good point, though, because sometimes the passageways do get stopped up and can
that's
cause...
why I say mechanically the
that
system's
normally
in
causes
good
an insufficient flow. But we will say that just to shorten everything, all the wiring's good, the valve's good, computer's good. Everything is working in that system and was working even before
the parts replacement.
Even before he replaced the parts.
And the only code was an EGR.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm at a loss then.
All right.
Give it some thought, Fred. I think if you think about it for a few, you might give us a call back.
You know what you got to do, John, right?
I do.
Oh, Fred. Okay. Oh, man. Thank you, Fred.
Well. All right, appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Number to call, 706-863-5800, 805 to 10 Eastern. Where we're going, John Ryan.
All right, let's go over to Jim.
Hello, Jim. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with?
May I have a shot at your tech tip quiz, please?
Absolutely, you can. We're going to put you on stage. And what is the answer to the tech tip quiz?
I believe this car has insufficient voltage because of the battery or poor electrical connections, bad ground, and that would set a code in any one of those systems.
No, ground's good, electrical connection's good, wiring's good, valve's good, all of that's perfect.
Battery's good, charging system's
everything.
good.
I mean, it's working like a charm.
Even mechanically. Passage, valve, you can take 12 volts,
Yes,
power it.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, perfect. I mean,
Time for the foghorn then.
oh, man. Jim, you took that
thank
well.
you.
Jim, you can't say you didn't try.
Thank you for the call.
Yes, sir.
All right, number to call, 706-863-5800. Where we're going, John Ryan?
Going over to Paul. We got about 2 minutes before our break, so we might
Hello,
have to put him on hold.
Paul. Welcome to the show. And what can we help with?
My answer for the tech tip has already been done and disproved, so I'm going to go to my question.
Well, we're ready.
I got a 2000 Jeep Cherokee, and the other day somebody cut me off in traffic, and I hit the horn, and I had no horn. I thought, well, that's pretty basic, horn, button.
I think I know what follows this.
Yeah.
Well, I was on the road, and I was going over to Atlanta, and so I flipped the cruise control on, and now I've got no cruise control. No light comes on.
We got a pattern going here, John Ryan.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
kind of a common link in there, too.
Yeah,
huh?
it is.
And then finally, I turn the key on, and the airbag check light comes on, goes off, back on again.
That's the clincher.
Yeah, it is. So, Paul, we've got about a minute left. I'll try and make it very quick. All those things have one thing in common, and it would be the spiral cable or clock spring. Of course, there's a cabling wind-up that's actually mounted in behind the steering wheel that allows the wheel to turn and the electrical contacts be made through a pivoting steering wheel, obviously. And with all those features that are on the steering wheel not working, assuming they worked at some point and they didn't all fail like, one after another, they failed at the same time. Sounds like the clock spring most likely has a bad circuit in it, especially with that airbag light coming on. So that's what we would suspect.
Okay.
But would you like to hold over the break?
I mean,
yeah. If you'll hold just for a second, we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back with more of the CNC Auto Show.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, I get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around.
Welcome back to the CNC Auto Show, and we are answering automotive questions. We're also giving tips about night driving, and Dominic Frito may give our next tip because he had one that he would like to mention that I feel like would help him a lot.
Sounded like more of a pet peeve.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He'd at least get it off his chest.
He was kind of ticky about it.
Yeah, he was. I think it'll make him feel better. What is it, Dominic?
So this is really a major annoyance of mine. Because I come to work about 7 o'clock in the morning. It's still getting light outside. A lot of people drive with their high beam headlights on because they have a low beam bulb burned out. Get the low beam bulb replaced. Turn your high beams off, please. Nothing is more irritating than getting a high beam headlight shown right in your face, and that is very distracting to other drivers.
Yeah.
Do you feel better?
Yes.
And especially if you drive one of those trucks that look like a 747 landing in front of you and got all the lights along with the high beam.
Why are you looking over here?
Hill, and you think an aircraft is landing in front of you.
It can happen.
Yeah, that's John Ryan.
No, I'm good about it.
Okay. Where are we going?
Let's go over to Robert.
Hey, Robert, welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with today?
Good morning, Aaron. I got a different one for you. I want to see if you can tell me if the parts might be the same on something because they look a little bit different. I'm working on a 1997 Mercruiser Bayliner boat. The engine in it is a 4.3 Chevrolet engine. It's actually the same engine that's normally in the little Chevy S10 Blazers.
Yep.
About 80% of those parts are identical matches. However, the harmonic balance looks to be different. The holes and everything else are the same, but the weights on the outside are different. Is there any way you could tell if that would be the exact same part? Because I know sometimes aftermarket parts can be a little bit different than the factory.
Yeah, Robert, that's actually one of the parts that I would almost steer away from putting an automotive one on there, mainly because that Mercruiser engine is what they call balanced and blueprinted. It's designed to work at way higher RPM. Obviously, if you had an S10 Blazer and you're going 60 miles an hour, it might be spinning 1,500, 2,000 RPM. That boat at 30 miles an hour might be spinning 3,500 RPMs to 4,000, depending on.
That's what I was thinking about 4.
Yeah, just depending on where you trim and what prop and all that. So the harmonics and the balancing of that engine is very, very important for its just longevity. And aside of that, is really important because this is overlooked a lot of the time, especially on electrical equipment for marine industry. A lot of people, just like you said, that 4.3s and everything GM made at that, at that time. Same for the 350, the 305. A lot of people make the mistake of putting a automotive starter on a boat, and you're right, it bolts up the same bolt pattern, looks exactly the same. The difference is it's not sealed. What's the first thing you do when you hop in an inboard boat? You cut the blower fan on, right? So all the fumes get in there. Well, if you put an automotive starter on there that's not sealed and it has electronic brushes, they spark, and there goes your boat because it just blew up because you put an automotive starter on it. So, yeah, the harmonic balancer, I would definitely stay with a Mercruiser, again, because it's designed and balanced with that engine.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you
thank you very much.
What's that, Aaron?
Would you recommend using a Mercruiser engine, though, also, right?
Well, yeah, for sure, Robert, but I think what you're looking for is the balancer, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, there is a company, I don't know if you've ever heard of it before, it's called Sierra. It's kind of like it's Mercruiser's aftermarket. That's as close as possible to the manufacturer's parts. Kind of like AC Delco would be for GM. It's kind of their aftermarket and original parts supplier.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, all right, great question.
Fantastic. We
Appreciate
appreciate it,
it.
Robert.
Thanks.
Okay, the number to call, 706-863-5800. We have a tech tip quiz on the table. And what it boils down to is a Chevrolet truck had an EGR code, check engine light coming on, and the gentleman replaced everything to do with the EGR, the wiring, the everything to do with the system. The system's working perfect. He really wouldn't have had to replace anything. He finally took it to a professional automotive shop, and they told him what was wrong.
They told him what was wrong, and they fixed it.
And they fixed it.
Yeah.
Do you think we should get the answer to this one, John Ryan?
We got a few minutes left. Let's leave it a little bit closer.
Okay.
Maybe one more hint would be they fixed it because a shop would have the equipment to fix it, not necessarily somebody in a driveway.
Yes.
So that's
and
my
it
hint.
wasn't anything mechanically wrong with the vehicle.
Correct.
That's
Mechanically or wiring side. I'm not going to say computer side.
And when we're saying this, I'm going to say that this has definitely happened
I hate
before.
to say it, but it happens weekly.
It does. It happens a lot of times. And I'll say that the reason that we are mentioning this tech tip quiz is this show is all about trying to give people information that will save them money.
Right.
Now, there's certain times
when you spend $800 on a repair that didn't need it.
Right. And that's what we're trying to avoid, because there are times to where things go past what a person is being able to do.
Right.
And, of course, what we mentioned sometimes is you can go out and buy an $8,000, $9,000 machine.
Right.
Or you can rent the machine and the technician to go along with it by the hour.
Right.
And in some cases, that's good. Now, looking at it on the other token, the reason we enjoy giving people answers to their question is because a lot of people, well, sometimes people do it to save money, which is absolutely fine. I do the same on my washing machine and always end up having to call the man to come look at the washing machine.
Yep, after it's in parts.
But sometimes they do it in order to save money. But some people just enjoy working on their own vehicle.
Right.
And, of course, years back, they used to be able to do more. You could do things like replacing the carburetor and doing all sorts of
Well,
things.
kind of a tip in a scenario of that is if your HVAC unit went out in your house and it's a fairly late model, you're not going to be able to pull trouble codes on your HVAC unit, are you?
Right.
You don't have the
and
equipment.
if I went out and bought
what would you have to buy? A
little
motherboard,
I've done all
circuit
that.
switch.
I did that.
So you'd have
and
to
then
have,
I ended up having to call somebody.
and that's the thing, and that's another reason why we're mentioning it, because we deal with the customer that spent the $800 on it, throwing parts at it,
Mhm.
and it's not necessarily frustrating for us, but we hate that they spent that money in the wrong direction.
And I think it would be good if we went ahead and gave.
Yeah, I think it's about
okay.
time.
Here it is. The part was well. To start with, I'll say this is pretty much true.
Oh,
This
it's
has happened in
absolutely
a
true.
lot of different scenarios on a regular basis. And this part is true also. I've actually had this happen. I mentioned to a gentleman that had replaced all these parts on his car. I said, now it would run 110, which at the computer system, fuel system, and the ignition system.
Yeah.
Run about 109 to run all these tests, and then I'll let you know what's wrong. He said, I don't want to pay that. He said, I've already paid $800 to put parts on this car.
Right.
And what it boils down to is none of the parts that the gentleman replaced were the problem. The problem had to do is there was a bulletin on that vehicle that tells you to reprogram the system.
That's right. Well, reprogramming the operating system that controls
the operating
those
system
parts.
that controls all of these. And what it's doing is widening the parameters that the computer's looking for, so the check engine light won't come on. So replacing parts really won't do any good. Now, if you're working on your own and you determine that, let's say that it's got a misfire code and your spark plugs and
have
wires are
80,000
original.
gap,
And it's wore slap out. You're not wasting money to do that. Go ahead and do it because you didn't waste money. And if you took it to another shop, they're going to recommend it anyway.
Yeah.
But if you got something that's a little unusual and you're just kind of throwing parts at the car hoping it'll fix it, in many, many cases, you're way ahead to go ahead and have the diagnostic test run.
And as far as the computer update or the software update, it's really the same as any Windows computer. You start it up, it'll sometimes says configuring. It's updating the computer to address the little bugs. Same thing.
And that's pretty much what it shows to a technician. Okay, so that was the answer to it. The vehicle just needed to be reprogrammed, and the parts did not have to be replaced on that vehicle. And we are out of time. Time clock's on E. We need to pull over now, but we'll be back on the road in no time. I'm Aaron Clements with co-host John Ryan Mooney. Our show producers are Dominic Frito, Sandy Klein, and our technical engineer, Zach Llewellyn. We'd all like to say thank you to all of you that tuned in, logged in, and especially all of you that called in to ride with us on the CNC Auto Show.